evening to everyone, and I call our Winston-Salem Human Relations Commission Commission virtual meeting, October 27, 2022, to order, and I ask for a roll call by Ms. Jamie Walden.
Chair Robert Leake.
Present.
Vice Chair Melissa Thompson.
Present.
Jeffrey Bloomfield. Sunny Haynes.
Present.
Michelle Preble.
Present.
Joshua Price. Ruth Sarton. Fred Taylor. Patrick Usher. And Carrie Wiggins.
Oh, actually, Commissioner Carrie Wiggins has requested an excused absence for today. I did receive that later today.
All right, thank you so much, Secretary Jamie Walden. Because we do not have a quorum yet, we're going to allow item 3 to be pushed back to the probably at the end of the agenda, just in case of Commissioner Taylor does show itself present for the meeting. So we will wait for the approval of the minutes. In regards to item 4, which is the chairperson's updates, I am going to defer to the first item. It says our HRC annual report presentation to the City Council. Of course, I was not able to make that presentation to the City Council, so I'm going to defer Ms. Wanda Allen-Abraham to Commissioner Haynes and Vice Chair Thompson, if that's appropriate to do so. All right, I will defer first to my cohort, Vice Chair Commissioner Thompson, and if Commissioner Haynes wants to chime in, she can do so as well. And thank you for representing us.
Yeah, I was happy to join Sunny in representing us at the City Council meeting and presenting the HRC annual report, where we covered some highlights from the last year of the activities of the commission and the department. So we were proud to represent all of the activities and the events that we were able to hold, to give the City Council an update, as well as an update on the non-discrimination ordinance subcommittee work and report. And Sunny, what else would you like to add?
Oh, I'll just add that in addition to our activities on the HRC, there was also reporting on, as Vice Chair Thompson said, the DEI portion that we're now responsible for through the department. So I thought it was a good report, and that was a great summary, Vice Chair Thompson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, for representing us at the City Council. Well, excuse me, the City Council for the presentation. Ms. Wanda Allen-Abraham, would you like to add anything?
Chair Leake, actually, I don't. I just want to echo your sentiments and thank Vice Chair Thompson and Commissioner Haynes for co-presenting the HRC's annual report. And yes, the report did contain also components, the new components and the not so new components of our areas of responsibility. And of course, yes, it included DEI, NDO, fair housing, and landlord tenant, in addition to the general outreach. And of course, language access was not included because language access is a new area of responsibility for the department as of this new fiscal year, which began on July 1. All
right, thank you so much. All right, our next item is something we have discussed before, but I'm bringing it back up. It is a nominating ad hoc committee status. As you all are aware, that we are in need of commissioners to represent the HRC. And so I think at our last meeting, did we already form an ad hoc committee? Well, nominated ad hoc committee. Did we do that?
At the last meeting at your retreat, you all did not get into the nominating committee membership. At a previous meeting, I don't remember the exact month, you all did discuss the nominating committee. And I don't have those minutes in front of me in terms of who is on the nominating committee. But of course, at any time, Chair Leak, you can always revisit that and make sure that people remember whether or not they volunteered. And if they didn't, we can revisit that when you all come back together so that you can, get together and review potential applications to the commission and make recommendations to Mayor Joines.
Correct. Yeah. I think that'll be the best thing to do is just revisit this item. And when we convene as a quorum and larger meeting with other commissioners, I think we'll be able to chime in, especially because we have those ones who are absent this evening. So that's fine. Okay. Well, let me just add this note in as well, is that of course, we are in need of other commissioners to join the Human Relations Commission. And so when we do revisit this, please just be looking forward to having this conversation in regards to what we will actually be looking for. And of course, we got to go by the demographics as well on the Human Relations Commission, which is ordered by the City Council for us to do so. So just wanted to put that out there as well. Because a lot of times I have a lot of community representation that asks me, well, I want to build a Human Relations Commission, but I have to always go back to the demographics as well that has been presented to us by the City Council. And so some of those areas are already full anyways, but I know that we're some areas that we are lacking also. So, but anyways, we will revisit that when we have a quorum and more commissioners are present. So prayerfully we can do it in November. Is that fine with everyone?
That's fine.
Okay.
Chair Leak, just a reminder that you all don't have a November meeting. You voted to move it to December. And Jamie, do you recall that exact date in December? I know we just talked about it a little while ago.
I was asking for the last meeting. Okay.
It's Thursday, December 1st.
Okay. All right. Well, we will revisit this item at that our next commissioner meeting, December 1st.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Our next item, which will consist of committee reports, and the first committee report up read is Commissioner Sarton, and I believe that our acting secretary tonight, Ms. Jimmy Waldeck, she was standing in the gap for Commissioner Sarton to read her report.
Thank you, Chair Leak. This will be very quick. We have the MLK Young Dreamers nominations coming up. Between now and the December 1st meeting, we will have all those forms sent out, hopefully by the end of next week. We ask that commissioners are asked to share with networks, and the HRC will vote on the nominations in December. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Any questions about the community relations report? And please be looking out or scout any individuals for the Young Dreamer Martin Luther King Award. I know we have the criteria that has been presented to us from last year. I don't think it's probably going to change this year as well. So they'll be looking out for any one who are making a difference in our community to be nominated for the Martin Luther King Dreamers Award as well. All right, for our executive report, of course, it's me. And I really already stated my report, which was from the HRC presenting to the City Council, as well the ad hoc committee. So I really don't have an report for that.
Chair Leak, one thing that may be a great tie-in for your executive report may be the fact that we've had representation at the state HRC meetings that have gone on. And I just thought maybe someone would want to talk about that. And I know that they try to have these statewide meetings quarterly. And unfortunately, I do believe that the commissioner who represented at the most recent one is not here, and that's Commissioner Wiggins. And so anyone from staff who attended the most recent statewide HRC meeting, which is inclusive of human relations commissioners from across North Carolina, would you care to just give a brief overview of the meeting that was recently held in Greenville? If anybody went to Greenville, would you like to just share some of what was touched on? I know we had some staff who attended. You don't have to give a lot of detail, but just maybe touch on a couple of key things and some of the other commissions that were there or something like that.
It was very well attended. There were, I believe they said close to 90 people present in person. So they were very happy with that. They had a presentation. I wasn't prepared for this, so I'm going to say the wrong person.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to say the second part. They talked about a state conference that would be hosted by NIRO, and they looked at what would be good topics, when a good time, what location. So they really focused a lot on that. And then they had a lot of speakers from
Sleepy.
They had a lot of speakers from the Greenville area. So there were a couple of legislators there. And it was very well attended, and it was a very informative. So I don't know if Adolfo or Iris have anything to add, but.
I think you did a good job. They did talk about housing. Housing is an issue everywhere. And they did touch base on it and what we could do to try to build more affordable housing.
Yes, thank you, Iris. Thank you, Jamie.
I'm sorry, I don't
Adolfo,
have much.
I'm sorry.
I don't have much more to add, but I do remember distinctly that in that conference there was a very lengthy presentation about the history of giving and the history of in the country of how the federal government started giving money to people that were living in poverty. It was a very interesting presentation, very lengthy too. And also at some point, I think a legislative representative from that county talked about the things that they are planning to do for that county, Greenville, and I think they're planning to do a monorail or a train that will go, and they are trying to do that for the university students so they could reach easily the university and from all the counties. It was a very interesting project, and but of course it will take, I think, millions of dollars in planning, and those were the things that I remember about that event.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, Iris.
Yeah, Adolfo did make me remember that. They did say that they were going to get the monorail to surrounding colleges so they could transport back and forth, like East Carolina, Raleigh, and so forth. So yeah, they did discuss it.
Awesome. Well, Greenville is doing quite well in terms of thinking of progressive transportation options, it sounds like, but I just wanted the other, the commission to hear about some of the things that were discussed. And we always encourage commissioners to attend. And I don't remember when or where. I think, Jamie, you were talking about the next meeting, right? The when or where were you talking about a conference? But because we do try to keep you informed as soon as we get word from Jean Troy with the NC Human Relations Commission, we try to let you all know that, so that if you're able to attend those conferences or meetings, I should say, that you can do so.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for attending, staff as well. Commissioner Wiggins did and enlighten me with the conference as well. Matter of fact, I was talking to her on you all's break. So it was great to know that we had good representation representing Winston-Salem HRC. So thank y'all so much. All right. Our next committee report will be the hearing board. I don't think we have any. I don't think there's a report for the hearing board, is it?
You're correct. There's no report at this time.
All right. Thank you so much. The multicultural relations, Commissioner Preble.
You're on mute, Commissioner Preble.
Yep, I was on mute for sure. So the building integrated community stakeholders have returned to the big pipeline sessions October 19th, 2022. There were 28 newcomers in attendance. The date of October 19th at Versailles Tech. Also, UNC Chapel Hill bus tour on October 20th, the Human Relations and DEI department hosted one of the spots for the UNC Chapel Hill bus tour. The BIC was the main focus due to the partnership with UNC. I hate that I missed it. I wanted to be there. And finally, on November 19th, 2022, the Human Relations and DEI department, in partnership with SEAC, will be hosting a citizenship fair to help with legal advice for citizenship. This event will be held at the Sprague Street Recreational Center.
All right, thank you. Can we get a update in regards to the Commissioner Preble? I know you wasn't there, and I wasn't able to attend as well. In regards to the presentation, could we get an update maybe from the staff or one Alan Abraham from the
Chair Leak, are you speaking of the UNC bus tour?
UNC Chapel Hill? Yeah, that's right. UNC Chapel bus tour, correct?
Yes. Well, it was really an awesome opportunity for our big stakeholders and our staff and other city officials to interface with some senior officials from UNC Chapel Hill. It was a very, very pleasant morning and afternoon. In the morning, of course, Mayor Joines greeted everyone, and they came up to the council chambers, and we talked about the work that we've been doing through the BIC committee and talked about our big pipeline sessions that are held quarterly. We talked about some of the languages that have been spoken during past pipeline sessions. We just really gave them a good overview of what we have been doing. And of course, in anticipation of using the Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation grant to have the grant funded position for the language access coordinator, which by the way, that person will begin on Halloween on October the 31st. So yeah, right.
We've been scare them away now.
Exactly, right? And we've been talking about the LACs, the NDOs, the assistant director, and we've been talking about these positions for so long. So it's awesome to actually see them filled and everything's coming to fruition with some very, very awesome people. And so, yeah, we touched on that a little bit as well. But it was great. Our two contacts from UNC Chapel Hill, Dr. Hannah Gill and Brianna Gilmore, both stayed after the bus left. They stayed and kind of hung out a little bit and were able to meet with our staff as well as the city's chief information officer, Mr. Tom Kareska, and also the director of the WinstonNet nonprofit organization here locally. They met with the two ladies from UNC Chapel Hill to discuss the future plans for the BIC interfacing with the LAC that we have. And so again, it was great. It was a really good day, good afternoon, and it was a nice opportunity to get to know them and for them to get to know us.
Good. And this was not televised, correct? It was just a presentation. Is that correct?
Right. It was not televised. That I'm not aware of that. I know marketing was present and they were taking plenty of pictures, but I don't think there was any video, not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right. That's good. All right. Now it's my turn for my update for the New Horizons Fair Housing. And at this time, there is no report at this time, but I do want to say that we have continued to meet as from the evictions diversion stakeholders. So we continue to meet, it's monthly, correct? Yeah, monthly. Sound like the second Thursday. Yeah, the third Thursday.
We had been meeting bi-weekly,
Bi-weekly,
but we pulled back on that a little bit because of some scheduling conflicts.
Correct. Okay. All right. But with that said, we continue to meet as the eviction diversion stakeholders. I do ask if any other commissioners would like to be a part of the discussion, please feel free to do so. But of course, one of the hot conversations, of course, has been around affordability of housing, not just in our city, but you all know it's nationwide. And then secondly, the eviction. So that's the reason why we've been able, I'm sorry, that's the reason for the exception of this group was to talk about the evictions that were occurring and still are reoccurring in our city in hopes that those evictions will decrease. But there has really been a decrease in the evictions, but we do know because of the America Rescue ARPA funds have already been exhausted from the Department of Social Service, but also from other organizations in this city, that we're probably going to see an increase of evictions again. And so we have been meeting as a group, like Ms. Wanda Allen Abraham just stated. First it was bi-weekly, then we actually went back to monthly. So please join us in with the conversation, just sit and just observe some of the conversations, because there's real issues that residents are facing in their communities all across the city. We do know that this is a situation that the city cannot bring a positive enforcement change overnight. So because this is such a pandemic, I believe, that we're seeing nationally in regards to housing and how rent has totally increased. Also, I wanted to say, I don't know if you all have saw the news or actually read the paper as well, but Winston-Salem was ranked, I think, is this right, Ms. Wanda? Please quote me, Wanda number one. No, maybe not number one, but I know we was the highest in regards to the cost of rent. Is that correct? Yeah. So
yes, we were on the list for being one of the cities that has seen the highest increase in rent. Yes.
Okay. All right. Yes, ma'am. I want to make sure I was clear on that. Okay. So I do ask you all that if you do have the time to please come and just be a part of this of that discussion. But again, I wanted to just lift that up. And then secondly, as well, it was not part of a report, but I wanted to share this with you all as well. That we've also, I'm gonna let Ms. Wanda Allen Abraham speak on this because I have missed some of the meetings also. The landlord-tenant that was actually birthed out of this eviction diversion stakeholders. So I don't know if some of you commissioners have probably saw it on your emails or not, but this is also another opportunity that has been presented to us as a group of stakeholders, but also even for the commission. So Ms. Wanda, you want to speak on that?
Chair Leak, I assume you're speaking about the Right to Counsel program?
Right to Counsel. I'll say landlord. Okay. Right to Counsel. Okay. Okay, that's cool.
That's okay. That's okay. It is a landlord-tenant program. You're right about that. So the Right to Counsel program is something that I think we've talked about. Maybe we've touched on it a bit in the past at past meetings, but it is now up and running. It is a partnership that the city has through our department with Legal Aid of North Carolina, the Winston-Salem office specifically. And of course, the Winston-Salem office, as a part of its territory, its scope and jurisdiction, includes the city of Winston-Salem. And so what that means for us is that any tenant who is unable to afford to have legal representation whenever they are being faced with eviction can now potentially qualify through this program to have free legal representation whenever eviction is pending. And so it's a really big thing. We are very excited to have this right to counsel program. We may be the first in the state to have it. I'm not positive about that. We need to really check on that, but we suspect that we may be the first to have it fully functioning up and running. It's funded and everything. And so we actually do receive reports from legal aid quarterly, basically to update us on what the caseload looks like and how the cases are progressing, whether they were mediated or whether they were litigated, whatever the case may be. We do receive those reports from legal aid. And so what will happen is you all will start receiving those reports as well. And basically it's just to keep us informed. The city, again, is funding the Right to Counsel program. And it's through, they are more or less like a sub-grantee agency of the cities. And so because it's something that is administered through our department, we are responsible for making sure that the terms of the contract are being fulfilled. And so just wanted to give you the heads up on that. But yes, we're really excited about it. I know that they already have at least one attorney. And actually, Mr. Daniel Joyce, who is now the managing attorney over at Legal Aid, discussed this during the UNC Tar Heel bus tour the other day. He did mention this because Legal Aid is also one of our big stakeholders.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. All right.
You're welcome.
Our next committee report, which will be the last committee report from commissioners, will be Commissioner Wiggins. And I'm going to ask our acting secretary tonight, Ms. Jimmy Waldeck, to read the Human Relations report.
Thank you. And before I get started with that, I did want to give a brief report on International Village. Mm-hmm. So the event did take place on October 15th from noon to, it ended up being 6:00 p.m. Commissioner Preble, Thompson, Wiggins, and Price were all in attendance. And such a great support for the day. So we're very, very thankful for that. We had a great turnout throughout the day, and I definitely would like to open it up for Commissioners Thompson and Preble to give their thoughts of the day.
I will share that it was my first time seeing a naturalization ceremony and how meaningful and touching, and what a great time to just kind of remember how wonderful it is to live in this country and to have that privilege that comes along with that, and to be able to welcome and greet all of the new citizens that we met that day, which I believe there were 19, if I'm right, new citizens that got their certificates, and it was just amazing, and it actually just gave me goosebumps actually when we were watching the ceremony. And then just to also see the village itself and all of the colors and all of the different cultures that were being represented there. It was really a beautiful day. And thank you so much to Jamie and your team for all the hard work and putting that together. I know that took a lot of work. So it was wonderful to be a part of that.
On the same vein, I really enjoyed the naturalization ceremony. It was very touching, and I think sometimes personally I take it for granted the privilege it was to be born in a country where we can all be free. And it was very interesting just to see people becoming citizenships, because we don't know their stories. We don't know what they have gone through to get here. And just being a little part of their day, it was very emotional.
And if I may add, it was awesome to have Truist as our title sponsor. They were an outstanding support for International Village. And Commissioner Preble, by the way, thank you for being on the International Village Planning Committee. You are the HRC liaison for that committee, and you were very committed, leading right on up until the day of and including the day of. So thank you so much for your dedication and your attention to that. So it would have been really hard to do it without you and your input. So thank you so much. But definitely we want to thank Mr. Michael Silva from Truist Bank. Michael was the keynote speaker for the naturalization ceremony. His speech was out of this world. And we also want to thank Gail Kettner. She is actually a city employee. She works in utilities, and she did a beautiful job singing the national anthem. Absolutely beautiful job.
She did. We also that was great.
Yes. Oh my gosh, her voice is just beautiful. And then of course we want to thank the color guard from Reagan High School. They did a wonderful job as well. And so it I actually echo the sentiments, even though that was about all I got to enjoy. But anyway, it was a really, really good effort. Yeah. So that, like I said, I'm glad I got to enjoy that part fully. And we thank Mayor Joines also, who came right at the tail end. And he also kicked off International Village for us, as he does each and every year. And on a more personal note, I want to thank you all. You know, I'm just like totally and completely too through with my little incident there. But I want to thank each and every one of you who were there, staff and commissioners, for the support that day. Just thank you. I think Iris is laughing at me, but that's okay, Iris. I'm okay now. I'm healing. So I just want to again say thank you to each and every one of y'all for everything. Despite that, we had a good day.
Thank you all. So now I'm going to go on to the student relations report. So the high school race relations forum was held on September 29th. We want to thank Commissioner Wiggins for giving a welcome. The discussion was fantastic and was heard by the superintendent and council member Denise Adams were both there with them. They stayed throughout the entire event and then gave comments at the end as well. If you have not already seen this event online, it can be found on the city's website. So we definitely welcome you all to find that and watch it. We also, because of the Student Race Relations Forum, the Youth Council has been invited to participate in an event with the Triad Cultural Arts that we are a partner with them as well on this event, the Rooted in Race event at the Union Station, and it's launches this Saturday. So next Saturday will be a youth focus day, and that will be from 10 to 2. But you can go to that exhibit any Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 5th and the 12th. So the last thing for the student relations is that we are about to start planning for the banquet. And if there are any of you that want to help us plan with that, we want to make sure we get started with that within this month. So look forward to more information about that, but it will be in February. Thank you.
All right, thank you to all the commissioners who actually presented their committee reports, and also thank you to all the other commissioners as well who attended the International Village as well. Thank y'all so much for stepping in. All right, now we're gonna go to our director's update. And I know we have some exciting news that Ms. Wanda Allen Abraham wants to share as well. We see some new faces tonight. And so I want to give her the time to introduce those new faces to us, but also provide her updates as well. And then we'll have our staff reports.
Thank you, Chair Leak. Actually, I am going to allow these gentlemen to introduce themselves. And I know that, like I said, this has been a long time coming. And I would like to start with our very astute new Assistant Director for the Human Relations DEI Department. And I am going to ask Dr. Ronnie Christian to introduce himself to you all and tell him a little bit, or tell you rather a little bit about himself. Ronnie?
Thank you, Wanda. Well, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Again, I'm Dr. Ronnie Christian, and I am just excited to be back in the Human Relations Department. I have spent the last 16 years working in education in different roles in administration. But of course, prior to that, I spent some time as a human relations investigator with Wanda and at that time, Gary Waddell. And so we were actually the first to actually move from the Black Philip Smith building up to where we are now in City Hall. So again, so with that, I also worked with the law enforcement for the city of Winston-Salem for 5 years prior to working with Wanda in human relations, and also worked in the workforce development department under Martha Jo Campbell. So I'm actually aging myself a little. But again, so I'm just excited to bring my experiences and my credentials back to the Human Relations Department and helping us grow and do the work of DEI and human relations.
And thank you so much, Dr. Christian. We are very happy to have you back with us. And I have to make sure I say that Dr. Christian part, because when he was with us years ago, he was just simply Ronnie. And so to me, he's still Ronnie, but I do want to give him his kudos, because since he's been gone, of course, he did earn that doctorate, and he has every right to be called Dr. Christian. So you'll hear me go back and forth, but thank you, Ronnie. We're happy to have you back, and we're looking forward to working with you. And we've already hit the ground running with you. And I know that we're going to accomplish some awesome things together. So definitely we welcome you back.
Thank you.
So now you're welcome. You're welcome. So now I'm going to turn it over to a good story to share with you too, in terms of his background.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Javier Correa Vega. I'm native from Puerto Rico. I have been in Winston-Salem for the last 22 years. Most of my background has been in education and law enforcement. In education here in Forsyth County for the last 18 years in different roles. Law enforcement, Forsyth County Sheriff Office, in Puerto Rico Police Department. And I was one of the creator of the first classroom on wheels for the state of North Carolina. I'm glad to be here. I'm gonna put all my knowledge. I'm gonna put all I know to make this position succeed. So I'm here for you guys. I'm fully bilingual. If you have any question, please feel free to contact me. I'm in the office. I'm here for you guys. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Javier. And we look forward to bringing your wealth of knowledge into the fold. And we know that you have some outstanding community connections and networks. And so we know that you're going to do wonderful things with the department. And a big part of what Javier will be doing also is working with the marketing and communications department to ensure that information is gotten out to our Spanish-speaking community in an expedient way. And so when we think about some of the more catastrophic events as of late that have occurred in our city, we want to make sure that moving forward, we do an even better job of making certain that people who need to get information in Spanish, and then once our new LAC comes on board in other languages too, we want to make certain that we have systems and processes and plans in place And so I think that that was certainly the vision that the city council had a few months ago when they decided to create this position. And then, of course, when they ultimately assigned it to our department, and the city manager and our assistant city manager decided it would be a good fit with our department. We definitely want to support Javier's work. And we know that he can hit the ground running because he does already have some very strong connections in the Hispanic community. So we're really excited about that. So thank you so much, Javier. Thank you, thank you.
Personally, I'm really excited to have another Puerto Rican in the house.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh, there you go. All right. I hope you guys got a chance to talk at International Village. Did you get a chance to speak to each other a little bit?
We did not, but I look forward to it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. And so those are the staff updates that I have. I've already mentioned the newer person who will start on October the 31st. We do currently have an intern. Her name is Amanda, and she is an undergraduate student at UNCG who aspires to go to law school. And so she has been shadowing Adolfo and Iris because she has a very special interest in mediation and conflict resolution. And she has been a huge help. Some of you met her at International Village, and she was helpful that day as well. And so we're happy to have her to help us out in the office, particularly as we go through the hiring process. HUD updates, we touched on that earlier. Jamie, I think, might have mentioned something about some outreach in one of her updates, or I may be conflicting with another meeting we had just prior to this. Just in case that's what I'm doing, I will tell you that we do have a HUD outreach grant, and the HUD outreach grant is actually going to be focused on marketing. So we're trying to make sure that we raise awareness about fair housing in the community. So we will be using billboards. We'll be using that bridge on University Parkway and everything else, digital ads and so on, to make sure that the word is out about the fair housing protections and landlord tenant options that people have if they need to use the right to counsel program or if they're interested in mediation. And so those are my updates, Chair Leak.
Okay, all right, and welcome Dr. Kristen and Javier as well. So and I didn't want to say this, but I don't remember you all being at the Smith Reynolds building. So I know I don't know. Well, I know that I'm too young to remember that. So I just remember just at City Hall. So, but thank you so much. I know you all will bring a plethora of gifts, skills, and talents to this department as well.
Shirley,
right, yes,
we were at the Black Philip Smith building at the intersection. At the intersection of Patterson and Glenn.
Oh, okay, Black. Okay. Wow.
It was.
That's history.
Yeah, it was only for a year since I've been here, so it was only for a year. We weren't there long, since I've been the director of the department, but that was during the time, yes, that City Hall was being renovated. And so nobody was in City Hall. So when they were bringing departments back into City Hall, we were one of the ones that got, selected to move back into the old City Hall. And that's a part of what Ronnie was referring to earlier, because he had to help pack up boxes just like I did, and we had to transport all that over. So we have a tradition that whenever we have new staff to start with us, we do what we call a field trip. And we take the new staff over to the Black Philip Smith building so that they have an understanding and an appreciation for how much the department has grown since then. Oh, we absolutely do.
Wow.
And so we will be doing that very soon with our newer staff members.
Wow. Now, I do remember, I think my parents used to pay the water bill down there or something. Is that accurate? That is? Okay.
Yes, they can still do that, to my knowledge.
Okay, all right. Staff updates, staff reports, Anyway, we'll start with item A, fair housing and landlord tenant updates.
Chair Leak, is that my part, the monthly report that I do?
I don't see your name by it, but I don't see any names by it. I'm just calling them out. So yes, so Adolfo, that would be you.
Okay.
Adolfo, you can give the stats report and then the little briefing that you and Iris may decide to give.
Okay, I have the stat report here. I hope you commissioners can have it too. For September, these are the September numbers. We had 37 calls. Again, that's typically a low number. Anything that's below 45, it's a low number for us. September was like that. We have, but in those 3 months, September, July, September, August and September, we have a total of 150 calls. And we have 4 year-to-date fair housing complaints. Well, we have had a little bit more since that, because both Iris and me are working on a total of at least 5 cases. So at this point, I hope we get to our numbers, both in fair housing complaints as in calls that we receive. Remember that we receive every year about 650 calls, give or take. So at this rate, we're probably going to be getting there. And also, we typically try to handle something like 10 fair housing cases at least a year, between 10 and 15. At this rate, we should be hitting those numbers if this trend continues. Thank you.
Thank you, Adolfo. All right, the diversity, equity, and inclusion updates.
Sure. Again, good evening to you guys. So, of course, I started October 3rd. So the month of October, we have been really moving, I should say. So I really hit the ground running, so to speak. So during the month of October, we've had 2 DEI operation meetings, those being with the fire department and also the fairgrounds. And so those meetings went very, very well, as we're working on clarifying some of their objectives to address some of their challenges and or concerns in their various departments. Also, our equity core team, we just finished a 2-day workshop with the National League of Cities, which is actually an organization that will actually help our equity core team to build a foundation of how to move and work within the realm of DEI. We also had a cultural competency training that was led by Miss Eleanor Tibbetts, who did a phenomenal job. And so with that, we are just eager to continue along that vein of doing more trainings in the months to come. We've got more DEI operation meetings set up as well. And we also have some additional equity core team meetings and trainings set up for next month as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Public accommodations and employment non-discrimination updates.
Hi, yeah, we currently have 2 active cases, one in employment and one in public accommodations. I expect to close the public accommodations ones next week. The employment one is ongoing. We've had a bit of difficulties getting in touch with the respondent, but all's good now, and should hopefully be able to close it out in the coming month at least. And this is not strictly NDR related, but as was mentioned before, we are having a citizenship fair in which people, permanent residents, will get assistance actually filling out the entire application for citizenship, and then they'll get an attorney review to look for any red flags, and it's totally free for them. Everyone's donating their time. I believe Wanda sent out information about volunteering, and I know some of you said that you were very touched by the naturalization ceremony, and this is an opportunity to be part of that process at the very beginning. So if you have any spare time at all, I really encourage you to come, especially if you can speak Spanish. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Eleanor. Language access update. You are on mute, Javier.
Now, good evening, guys. Like Ronnie said, I started with him on October 3rd. One of my first projects was to identify which city employees speak 2 languages. So we identified those employees, and now we're moving forward to write down those on their ID badges. Like, I speak Spanish. We're gonna start with the Spanish language. I speak Spanish, so everybody know who speaks Spanish, who doesn't. And now that initiative, that project is going to the city manager's office for his approval. Second, I'm working right now after the event of an emergency that happened with the Weaver plant. We're gonna be identifying 2 employees for each department that speak different languages other than English, so they can help those people when they have been calling to get more information about what's going on at the city. So that's going to be the next project. Third project will be tomorrow. We have a meeting with different businesses and organizations. We're going to try to feed between 300 and 500 families for Thanksgiving. That's for the first time happening in our department. Tomorrow, I will have more information about it. So basically, each box will feed a family of 4 for 3 days. So we're talking to business partners, community partners, to see how they can help us out to do that. 4 projects will be trying to access a surplus car from the police department or the city that have 0, because surplus is 0 cost, to see if we can do a mobile Wi-Fi unit, so we can go to the neighborhood that don't have Wi-Fi available, so they can be in our meeting, they can fill job application, they can do all kind of good stuff with the free Wi-Fi in coordination with a Winston-Net. We are just starting thinking about the process, so you will have more information in the next couple more weeks. And of course, a bunch of translation from people from the city, from different departments. So that's basically my update, just only in 3 weeks.
Thank you. Wow, that's awesome. 300 to 500 people. We're looking forward to feed.
Families.
We've never done that.
Families. Last year I did it. We served 3,500 at the school system, but again, if you don't use it, you lose it. So most of them are my connections. So I'll try to bring them back with me to the city. So if everything goes well tomorrow in the meeting, it can happen. It's gonna happen.
That's good. Oh yes, thank you. All right, Ms. Wanda. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Here's some stuff.
No, so when we might need some help from you guys, if we decide to that 500 is a lot to manage for myself. So we might need help of everybody involved.
Yes, well, that's why we're here. Yeah, to assist as commissioners.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Wanda, Allen, Abraham, you have anything to say?
Well, I was just going to say, Chair Leak, that for the new business section, just FYI, I gave a presentation today to students at Winthrop University. It was a virtual presentation. It was hybrid, actually. They did have some students on site, and then we did most of it via Zoom. But I was really happy to speak with the students about what DEI looks like in local government. You know, what are some of the barriers? What does it mean? And so it was really interesting. I think the count was, we had about 100 people who were watching or either in attendance in person. And it was a very, like I said, very interesting experience because it was mainly college students. So just wanted to let you know that that happened earlier today.
Yes, and it was great. It was great. I also attended as well. Dr. Christian, you have anything to say?
Yes, I do. Also, mentioning new business and DEI, a part of what I have been doing in my role too is being a part of our onboarding process, which is our new hire orientation. So I started that about 2 weeks ago, and of course I will continue to be a part of that, speaking with our new hires about the Human Relations Department and DEI and our different functions and missions and goals and everything that we do in human relations and DEI. So that's coming up again on next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, commissioners, any we don't have community presentations, and we don't have any general business as well. Any comments, any announcements before we adjourn?
I think maybe
Yes,
if we
ma'am.
can mention the historic sign unveiling that's coming up. I know I received an invitation to it is it on Walltown coming up on November 6th?
Yeah,
So,
November 6th. Yeah, that's correct.
so that'll be a great event if we can be present at that, and just to make mention of that as a community event.
Do you ever want to know what Vice Chair Thompson is talking about? Well, y'all
Maybe
face
not,
not even,
Shirley.
yeah, y'all face not telling me anything. Y'all just, like y'all just stuck. Well, go ahead, Vice Chair Thompson, please do.
No, I was just saying I was thankful to get the invitation, and it'll be I'm looking forward to being there.
Thank you, Ms. Wanda. How you want to expound on that?
Well, it is an invitation that you all got from the Historic Resources Commission. They are inviting all of the Human Relations Commission to attend. And so I'm glad some of you got your invitations via mail. Some people, their mail came back because their addresses weren't up to date. Speaking of which, we really do need for you all to email us if your addresses have changed over the past year or two. We need to know that, because the Historic Resources Commission relied on our roster. And if your information is not current, we really do need to have that information, because there could be times that the city will need to mail you correspondence.
Yeah. I am excited that that's part of my neck of the woods on Walltown Street, but I did not know the history of that school at all. So I plan to attend. I got some other commitments that day, but I plan to attend as well. So just the history to know that that we drive past, walk past, jog past, cycle past every day is history right in our own community. So it just blew my mind when I'm like, Walltown. I'm like, wow. So it's an opportunity for us to learn about our history in Winston-Salem. So kudos to the Historical Commission. So.
And I don't know if we can double check the date on that. On my calendar, I actually have it this Saturday, the 29th at 3:00. So I don't know if it's this Saturday or the first Saturday in November.
Okay. It might, it might be. I think it is.
I think I sent an email to you all, right? Did you all receive an email from me about that?
It's possible.
Okay. Because I know exactly what you mean, Vice Chair Thompson, because I don't remember. I thought I did. And if I did, that the correct date should be that email.
Yep. It is this Saturday at 3:00 p.m. Yeah, this Saturday at 3. So thank you for sharing that with us, Vice Chair Thompson.
Yep.
And you also got the information, Chair Leak, about the Rooted in Race event that's happening this Saturday too.
Yeah. We have a
So
lot
there are a
going
couple
on.
of community things. Yeah, there's a lot going on Saturday.
Yeah.
And the Indo-US Cultural Association is having its Diwali celebration also on Saturday at Wake Forest University. So that's another exciting cultural and community event that's going on this weekend.
All right. Well, any other comments, updates from our commissioners? All right. Well, seeing none, if all hearts and minds are clear, we will not meet until December the 1st. And I wish everyone a happy and a blessed Thanksgiving. And we did not have a quorum, so we cannot vote for our minutes. So can we do that by email though?
You can just wait to do it at your next meeting, assuming you have a quorum, Shirley.
All right, that'd be good. All right. And but we can't have a motion to adjourn. Correct.
Or you can just adjourn the meeting.
Oh, if we're gonna have a quorum. Okay. All right. Well,
yeah, it's okay.
All right. Well, I do not have my gavel, so I'm going to just call out. I adjourn the meeting. Thank you all. Have a blessed night.